All right, let's just dive right in. When you hear the words chaos magic, your mind probably jumps to robes, weird rituals, maybe some stuff you saw in a movie. But what if I told you it's less about ancient spooky secrets and more about a super modern, really pragmatic system for, well, for debugging your own mind? Today we're going to look at chaos magic, not as occultism, but as a psychological toolkit for taking control of your own development. So, let's kick things off with a huge question, one that sits at the heart of so many spiritual paths. Is enlightenment some kind of perfect, finished state you finally get to, like reaching the top of a mountain and you're just done? This system we're talking about has a radically different take on that. And here's that different take. In this framework, illumination isn't a destination at all. It's a verb. It's something you do. It's the continuous, active process of taking a flashlight into the dark corners of your own mind, your habits, your fears, those beliefs you don't even know you have, and systematically taking them apart to see what's really going on. It's all about becoming more free and a lot more effective day by day. Okay, so how do you actually do any of that? Well, the whole system really operates with a very specific and seriously powerful toolkit for your mind. And it all boils down to two fundamental ideas: belief and a special state of mind called Gnosis. This right here, this is the first big mind-bending idea you've got to wrap your head around. In chaos magic, the most powerful tool you have isn't something you can buy or find in a shop. It's something you already have, and it's something you can learn to use. It's your own ability to believe, but not in the way we usually think about belief. So on the one hand, you've got your normal dogmatic belief, right? It's rigid, it defines who you are, and honestly, it can become a kind of cage. But on the other hand, you have belief as a tool. This kind of belief is fluid. It's a paradigm you can consciously decide to pick up to get a certain result. And then you can just put it down again when you're done. Seriously, think of it like changing the operating system on your computer to run a specific app. This practice is called paradigm shifting, and it is the absolute key to freeing up your mind. So if belief is the software, the program you're choosing to run, how do you actually install it? How do you get it past your own inner critic and into your subconscious? Well, that's where Gnosis comes in. Gnosis is the execute command. It's a peak, altered state of consciousness where your rational, doubting mind just gets quiet for a second. And that little window of silence, that's when your intention can be planted directly where it needs to go to start working. And it turns out there isn't just one way to get to that state. You can reach Gnosis through inhibitory methods, basically calming your mind down to absolute stillness through things like meditation or deep breath work. Or you can go in the complete opposite direction with excitatory methods. You overload your senses with intense dancing or drumming until your conscious mind just kind of throws its hands up and gets out of the way. And then there's this third, kind of sneaky path, indifferent vacuity. This is a state of casual, non-attached focus, like doodling a symbol while you're stuck on a boring phone call. The technique doesn't matter. What matters is reaching that state of no mind. All right, so you've got the tools, belief and Gnosis. But knowing about them is one thing. Being able to use them effectively, that's a whole other story. All the theory in the world is useless without practice. The next step is all about building the mental and psychological muscle to actually apply this stuff. See, in a system like this, there are no gurus. There's no set dogma telling you what to do. You are your own teacher and your own student, which means self-discipline is, well, it's everything. Things like concentration, meditation, visualization exercises, consciously directing your own mental states, these aren't just suggestions, they're the daily workouts. This is the training you do to build the mental fortitude you need for this work. And the whole purpose of all that training, all that discipline, is to develop what's called a magical will. Now, this isn't just wanting something really, really bad. It's the ability to direct the total, focused energy of your entire being, your conscious mind, your subconscious, everything, toward a single, precise goal, without any hesitation or self-sabotage. A perfect example of this whole process in action is sigil magic. It's like a complete workout for your will. First, you get really clear on what you want. Then, you turn that desire into an abstract symbol. Next, you use one of those Gnostic states we talked about to charge it, basically firing it straight into your subconscious. And then, and this is the critical part, the real exercise of will, you deliberately forget about it. You actively turn your conscious mind away, trusting the deeper parts of you to get the job done. Okay, so once you've developed these foundational skills, the path leads into some much deeper, much more challenging territory. Now we're moving into what you could call advanced psychological ordeals. These are metaphorical tests of the self that are designed to completely pull apart your personality. This stage of the journey is really about triggering a profound spiritual and psychological crisis on purpose. It's about facing the void, facing the idea that everything you believe, everything that makes you you, might just be a story you've been telling yourself. This whole ordeal is called crossing the abyss. And let's be absolutely clear, the abyss is not a literal place you go to. It's a metaphor for a total ego dissolution. It represents that terrifying moment where all your reference points, your identity, your beliefs, your certainties about the world completely crumble, leaving you face to face with what is without any filters. But there's a catch. There's a guardian at the gate of this void, a demon that tries to prevent you from making that leap. And the big twist is, this isn't some evil monster from outside of you. It's something you already know very, very well. Its name is Choronzon. And Choronzon is simply the personification of your own mental chaos. It is every random thought that pops into your head, every contradiction in your beliefs, every bit of self-sabotage, every fear, and all of your resistance to letting go of who you think you are. Defeating Choronzon is the ultimate test of that mental discipline you've been building. It's about finding that point of stillness right in the heart of your own internal storm. So, what happens if you succeed? What's actually on the other side of that abyss? Well, the final part of this path is all about integration and something called apotheosis. This is the payoff for navigating those incredibly intense psychological depths. After the false, conditioned ego is symbolically taken apart in the abyss, what comes next is a rebirth. You aren't destroyed, you are integrated. You put yourself back together, but as a more whole, more authentic, and way more powerful version of yourself. And what you discover on the other side is your true will. Now, this is different from the magical will we talked about earlier. Magical will is a tool for getting things done. True will, that's a deep, quiet, intuitive knowing of your unique purpose. It's who you are and what you're here to do once you've stripped away all of society's expectations and all of your own passing whims. Your actions just start to align effortlessly with the way things are. And this brings us right back around to the core thesis of this entire psychological map. Illumination isn't about finding some external god or some divine light from above. It's the profound realization that the power, the awareness, the source of it all was inside you the whole time. To be illuminated is to become your own source of light. Which leaves all of us with one final, very practical question. If this model holds any water, if your beliefs truly are the tools that build your world, then just take a look around. What reality are you currently building for yourself? And, more importantly, what reality are you choosing to build next?